How you doing, y'all? This is the BigBoiBatman podcast. It'll be my first episode, and basically, I will be just exploring a different weird topic every single week. I kind of got this idea from Oral Presentations by Chris Wood. That's probably my favorite podcast. Shout out Oral Presentations. That shit rules. Basically, that guy just explores a different topic every week, and my girlfriend loves it too. So if my girlfriend loves it, I love it. You know how it is. Anyway, so I kind of picked this topic of Liam Neeson rules because I saw on Twitter some pictures of Liam Neeson pissing himself, and they kind of rule. I'm looking at them now. They fucking there's the best one. He's he's posing with three people at like a bar or something, and he's obviously shithoused, and he's posing and smiling, and his drawers are just soaked, like he's just got a fat piss stain. And then another one, there's he looks like he's like mid conversation with somebody, and he just pissed his pants so hard. I mean, the guy just really just lets it loose. My man really just pees his pants hard. Yeah, but I saw that and I was like, wow, that's so based. That's maybe the most based thing I've ever seen in my life. I've also been on a real Irish kick lately. I actually sprained my ankle in pickup soccer because this British guy stepped on my fucking ankle and fucked it up, and I couldn't walk for like 2 days. And the day I sprained my ankle, I was bedridden. I had my ice pack on my ankle and my foot elevated, and I threw on this movie on Netflix that had been on my list for a long time, and I didn't know what it was about, but it was called Black 47. And it was just like, it seemed like a real dudes rock movie, and like I've been on a real dudes rock kick lately. I've been watching Mad Max, Fury Roads, John Wick movies. Just shit fucking sucks right now. I mean, the Capitol Hill thing was gnarly, and they're about to have fucking Patriot Act Part 2. The Democrats are going to be like, we're so afraid we can't help anybody for 4 years straight, maybe 8 years straight. There's going to be a bunch of new stupid fucking rules just because a bunch of idiots got into the Capitol building. Whatever. Anyway, shit sucks. So I've just been watching dudes rock movies. I highly recommend it. If shit is sucking in your life, just watch dudes rock movies. They'll cheer you right up. And Liam Neeson has starred in a lot of dudes rock movies. Anyway, I got way off track. I watched this movie, Black 47, on Netflix. And it's about this Irish dude that during the potato famine of 1847, yeah, 1847, British government kills his family, and he basically goes full John Wick and just starts murking British people. It fucking rules. It's like Irish John Wick. The guy just starts fucking people up. And, you know, I got my ankle stepped on by a Brit, and then I watched this like super anti-British movie. So I've been real pro-Irish, pro-IRA lately. So if you're British listening, you can go fuck yourself. Anyway, yeah. Liam Neeson is the star of a lot of dudes rock movies. Taken is a real dudes rock movie. Anyway, I wanted to explore Liam Neeson because he does rule, and I was wondering why he was so chill about just pissing his pants. I mean, you gotta see these pictures. You gotta look it up immediately. He just pisses his pants and he's looking right into the camera like, yeah, it's what I fucking do. What the fuck's up? Yeah, he's a based motherfucker, man. He's real based. That's all I can say. Anyway, yeah, let's explore why he's so based. Moving on. So he grew up in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. If you don't know anything about the Troubles, it was real fucked up time where basically the Protestants in Northern Ireland were constantly battling with the IRA and the Catholics of Northern Ireland, and there was a lot of conflict. It's kind of fucked up that we have a drink called the Irish car bomb, because that was actually a very serious problem from the 60s to like the early 80s in Northern Ireland, because people were just blowing up cars and blowing up each other, and there's just a lot of chaos back then. So definitely a gnarly place to grow up. You can understand why a man would look a camera, just stare straight into a camera as he aggressively pisses his pants. Yeah, so he grew up during the Troubles. He was actually like an excellent boxer. He was a 3-time Northern Ireland champion of boxing. He said he had around 30 or around 40 fights, and he won around 30-ish of them. And he started when he was 11 years old and quit when he was 16, because he said he actually won the fight, but he was so concussed, his dad told him to go downstairs and get changed, and he was looking at his dad and he didn't understand what going downstairs meant. He was so concussed. So he decided to hang up the gloves and move on to another life. But I want to stay on that for a second, because this is also very based of Liam Neeson. He keeps up with boxing pretty well, and he was kind of I found this 2012 ESPN interview about his early boxing career where he was shitting on the Klitschko's, which kind of rules, because the Klitschko's were longtime heavyweight champs, and he was saying that the heavyweight division is like an embarrassment nowadays, and he was calling the Klitschko's boring fighters that weren't hungry at all. They weren't like his hero, Muhammad Ali, who was his idol growing up, which, if you know anything about boxing, Tyson Fury really shit on the Klitschko's and called them boring. There's this great video on YouTube. Fuck, I gotta look this up. What the fuck is his name? There's this guy I love. He makes amazing videos on YouTube. Tyson Fury. Joseph Vincent. This guy's a great Tyson Fury video. It'll get you fired up, but Tyson Fury is as hungry of a boxer as a hungry boxer can get. And he shit all over Klitschko, and he tells the story about they were in the sauna together, and he stared Klitschko in the eyes until Klitschko left the sauna, and he knew he would beat him from that day moving forward. If you can't tell already, I am all over the fucking place. I was just talking about Liam Neeson, and then I just went on about the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, for a long ass time. So, yeah, this is going to be an all over the place podcast. I hope you're strapped the fuck in, ready to listen. I included this in there just for you neckbeards. Liam Neeson did the voice of James on Fallout 3. I don't really know what that means, but maybe some of you neckbeards are wojacking right now. I don't know. Never played the Fallout games. I liked Skyrim, but I tried a couple of the Fallout games and just didn't fucking hit me, you know? I'm not that interested. Sorry. Fuck you. Anyway, moving on. This is where it gets kind of sad. So, in 1994, my man married Natasha Richardson, who was a Tony-winning actress, and I think he really loved this lady, and she died from a skiing accident in 2009. And I think this is why he's so based. I mean, a lot of the pissing pictures are from 2011, and he's obviously trashed in a lot of them. So I don't think this affected him too well. I think this was definitely something that was tough for him. And, shout out to Liam Neeson, man. That's gotta be fucking tough, losing your wife. 1994 to 2009. That's a great run. I feel bad for him. And shortly after that, too, his nephew suffered a devastating accident. I think he fell off a boat or something like that. I don't know, but it left his nephew unable to walk and talk, which is pretty fucked up. So my man's dealing with a lot of grief. He grew up in the Troubles. I think that's the making of a pretty based guy, If you're listening and you're like, what the fuck is based? It's kind of speaking your mind. It's kind of just saying the truth. A lot of racist people call themselves based because they think they're speaking the truth like being racist. You're gonna hear me say based a lot. It just means like cool, or you're speaking your mind, you're being genuine. That's what based means. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the rough part of the Liam Neeson podcast, his 2019 incident. God, what a fucking lame time. They were just trapping everybody back then. It's so wild. But basically I need to stop for a second. Hold on. Sorry about that. My bitch mom was calling me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was sorry. That's probably a fucking weird thing. Sorry, I gotta go. I just want to say before I move on, I listened to the first part just to make sure the audio is good, and I felt like such a pussy for being like, I'm scared about the Capitol Hill thing. I'm not scared about it. It's fucking whatever. It's just I watched the impeachment hearings this morning, and all of them are comparing it to 9/11, which it wasn't at all. And I'm just hoping that we don't have more civil liberties taken away because of a bunch of dudes getting nuts, It's fucking stupid. I mean, when I hear about flying pre 9/11, it sounds like absolute bliss. You didn't get fucking raped every time before you went on a flight. Whatever. Sorry. I needed to get that out of the way. I felt like a pussy by being like, I'm scared about what happened in DC or democracy or beautiful democracy. No, that's not me. I'm not that pussy. So anyway, I was going on about in 2019, Liam Neeson faced some controversy. He got in trouble, and the sound clip was "That black bastard," and it's kind of taken out of context. He had this movie called Cold Pursuit coming out, and he was interviewed for it, and they asked him, how do you channel that revenge? How do you tap into that for the role? And he talked about a time like 40 years ago where someone really close to him was raped by a black person, and he said he got very angry at all black people, and he had this primal rage. And he said he went out into the streets with, I think, a club or something like that, and he was looking to get into a fight with a black person. Now, that got way taken out of context because he goes on to say he feels ashamed about that, and he learned that revenge is not the answer from that, and he went and he sought help from a priest, and he's not racist, and I think he has very good experience with this because, sorry, I was making sure my door was closed. He grew up in the Troubles, and that was a time where people were just seeking revenge on each other, and it was just making the problem worse and worse and worse. You know, Protestants would blow up a bar, and then Catholics would blow up a bar, and it didn't really solve anything. Sorry, my door wasn't closed. This is probably awkward as shit to listen to. Anyway. Yeah, so he was deeply ashamed. I saw an interview on Good Morning America where he tried to defend himself, and I feel like he honestly didn't do the best job of it because he kind of kept saying like this was 40 years ago, which I don't know. He's older. He probably doesn't know how to maneuver this horse shit that we live in nowadays, where you have to. I don't want to be like this. The PC police guy, but around 2019, shit was so fucking stupid. I mean, they were just trying to trap people into you're racist or sexist from the weirdest shit. And I mean, it was a bad soundbite. The black bastard. That's not a great thing to say, but I wrote down here that John Barnes, who I only know from his incredible FIFA card. I mean, it's like 90 pace, like 90 shooting. Dude's a fucking beast in FIFA. Anyway, he's an ex-Liverpool footballer, and he hardcore defended him on Sky News, and I got to give him respect for it. He said Liam Neeson deserves a medal. He was being honest about the feeling that he had, and he had rage against black people, and he was saying that's not a good thing. He was saying that because one person does something doesn't mean that all people of that group are that way. And I mean, I feel like you hear that all the time. Like somebody's like, somebody was a dick to me, fuck all Slovakians or something. Or, you know, they meet one fucking Russian and they're like, oh, all Russians are assholes. It's like, nah, maybe a few of them, you know. I don't think Alexander Ovechkin's an asshole. He's the best left winger of all time. Dude's incredible. You got to see that rookie goal from like 2008. I mean, the guy was on his back, sliding on the ice, and scored the most unbelievable goal I've ever seen. I mean, that's the best goal in NHL history. So I'm not going to trash Russians just because of Alexander Ovechkin, you know? Anyway, yeah, I think just Liam Neeson just can't help but being honest. Oh yeah, the funniest part of this was it came from an interview with The Independent when he was promoting his movie Cold Pursuit, and as he's telling this like brutal story of his friend being raped, and he had this primal rage where he was angry at all black people, and he was so angry his co-star Tom Bateman, his co-star in the movie Cold Pursuit, Tom Bateman, was sitting next to him, and he's quoted as just saying, "Holy shit." I love that part of the story so much. I think that's so goddamn funny, is that they asked him this question. He could have said, you know, I've gone through some things. I grew up in the Troubles, and I know what revenge is like. But instead, he went on this very dark, personal story. And his fucking co-star is just like, okay. I love that part of the story. But anyway, I think Liam Neeson has been through a lot. I think anybody who grew up in the Troubles, probably a pretty honest guy. You know, they have probably a lot of crazy stories, if you watch the movie 71, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's from the perspective of the British, who, as you remember from the beginning of the pod, I'm not a huge fan of right now. But I don't know how historically accurate the movie is, but basically the movie is how gnarly it was growing up or how gnarly Northern Ireland was in 1971. I mean, it seemed like just a war zone all the time. Like, British soldiers would show up, they'd get fucked up, they'd fuck up a bunch of Catholics, and then a few cars would blow up. I mean, it just seemed like mayhem back then. And he grew up in that. He lost the love of his life, his nephew. I don't know. I mean, I know this started out as like, it's so funny, like he has peed his pants so many times, but you look into stuff and you realize, there's a lot of context around it. A man doesn't become based just from looking at Twitter all day. I think a man becomes based from going through some shit, and Liam Neeson has certainly been through some shit. He grew up a boxer, he grew up a hard motherfucker, and I think that's why he's such a good star in so many dudes' rock movies, is because he's been through some shit. He knows how to channel some dark feelings, And I agree with John Barnes, the Liverpool guy who defended him. He said the media spun it way out of control, and he was saying Liam Neeson was just being honest. And this guy John Barnes is a black guy, and he was saying, like, I don't believe he's racist, and I think he's right. Like, these things happen, and sometimes you blame a whole group of people, and it's not a good thing. But he appreciates that Liam Neeson was so honest and said, like, I'm not a racist, but you feel this way sometimes, and you realize that it's wrong, and you got to work through these feelings. And I think just pushing it down and saying that Liam Neeson was angry one time, and that means he hates all black people because he was mad 40 years ago, I don't think that's right. You got to watch this John Barnes defending Liam Neeson video, because the man goes off, honestly. Like, Sky News is like, keeps trying to get him with like gotcha moments, and John Barnes goes, okay, you guys praise Winston Churchill, and he was a white supremacist. What do you think about that? The Sky News guy gets super flustered, and he's like, let's not get off track. And John Barnes is like, no, I'm saying Liam Neeson isn't racist, and you guys have praised an actual racist, so fuck you. So shout out John Barnes too. He seemed like he was a hell of a footballer in the 80s. I still gotta watch his highlights. And he played for Liverpool, which is really cool. It's a sick football club. Not my team. I'm personally a Leicester City guy, just because my favorite player of all time is this guy Jamie Vardy, who's sick as fuck. I might do a fucking podcast about him, honestly. I'm gonna write that down right now. Just for a preview, this guy worked in a factory like 6 years ago, and now he's the top scorer in the best soccer league in the world. He's pretty fucking sick. He's a cool guy, and he's super white trash too. He drinks like 20 Red Bulls a day. That guy's fucking awesome. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Liam Neeson. He pees his pants, and there's a reason for it. He's been through some shit. He's probably got some trauma he's got to work through. I hope he's able to work through that. I mean, that's rough, man, losing your wife. Still got 2 sons he takes care of. It seems like they have a very good relationship. I watched a few interviews with them. Former boxer, Northern Ireland champ. What a fucking guy, man. Schindler's List, Taken, so many good movies. The voice of James on Fallout 3. I don't know the significance of it, but that's cool. Anyway, I think that's about the conclusion of the pod. I just want to get a few things out of the way. If you want to come see me do stand-up, I do every Tuesday night at the Iron Oak Post. Had a pretty good set last night. I think I did all right. Also, check out Made in Supply on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. My buddy Jordan started a shirt line called Made in Supply, MADE in supply. Very cool stuff there. Gotta check that stuff out. Support my buddy. Make some very nice shirts. I have one. I'm wearing one right now. It's premium fabric. It's great fucking shirts. Undeniably great. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening. If you're out there, if you want to hit me up on Twitter, give me some ideas. I love researching stuff. I love looking into stuff, and I'm hoping this podcast takes off, man. So yeah, hit me up with some ideas. If you got cool story, something cool I can look into, I'm more than happy to. Big sports guy. If you have a cool sports story, I'd love to look into it. I will probably do an episode on Jamie Vardy. I think I'm going to do a 2-parter on The People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. That's an incredible book that, shout out, Andrew Lepore recommended to me. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys. Peace.